Hi friends, I'm going to talk about creativity. How to really make ourselves to be highly creative people. Everyone has something creative within oneself. Every one of us has something unique or special in this world, gifted by God. We'll have to realize the creative energy that we possess, the creative thoughts we have, the creative ideas we often make use of in life or at work. How do we become highly creative people? We have to energize ourselves every now and then by writing about all those thoughts that come to our mind. Have a journal or use your own notepad or write it down when you're as if you're writing it in your diary. Ensure that your creative ideas are put to use. You could maximize your potential if you're highly creative. How do you become highly creative person? Suppose you are a painter. Look at varieties of painting available at the moment. Look at the trends of painting. Observe the nuances of painting available at the moment in the world. And then have a mental picture of being one of those best artists or celebrities who does such marvelous creative paintings. So your creativity has to be used to the fullest potential. How do you do that? It's all imagination. Imagination is the most powerful source that you can tap or harness to accomplish your tasks. Whichever be your profession, whatever be the task that you're doing, wherever you are, you could be a creative individual. Look at the best creative brains on the earth. I could always talk about Rabindranath Tagore, the first Nobel laureate of India. He was considered a philosopher, educationist, painter, a dramatist, a storyteller, a poet, a philosopher, and a yogi. A great spiritual philosopher himself who could possibly energize anybody even today. His Rabindranath is a source of great inspiration for people not just in Bangladesh or in West Bengal. He is a source of inspiration for anybody anywhere on the earth who's talking about a revolution in education or spiritualizing education, understanding the importance of spiritual quotient in education. But when you look at his life, whenever I give examples of his life, I always remember he was considered one of the dullets of his school. Most of his school teachers ridiculed him when he was in the United Kingdom doing his schooling. He came back. He was so insulted, rather felt so bad about being a blockhead. That is what actually the teacher called him when he was at school. He shares about it in his writings. And remember, this is a person who was trained by his father to learn Sanskrit, to study English and understand English, and then to learn Bangla. And then he learned so many other languages, including Hindi. Please remember, Rabindranath Tagore started writing poetry, not just in Bangla, but also in English. And his paintings were the greatest modern marvels this world can ever think about. He was a source of inspiration for thousands of painters thereafter. He was also a great educational philosopher. Remember, he was the one who thought about the ancient way of Indian education, the so-called Gurukul. That the Guru is a role model, not just in his workplace, even in his or her life. The Guru remains a great role model in his or her personal life. So that students have to stay with a teacher to understand the actual style of working or the kind of attitude a teacher has or the behavior that a teacher possesses. I think that is something that this particular world requires it now. He was one of the greatest creative teachers ever born. And look at his poems. His poems were, in fact, a new phenomenon themselves. You could look at each of his poems talking about something new. He has always inspired people, not for this century, for the next millennium as such. Whenever you look at any of the great brain who is highly creative, you will always learn several lessons from their lives. I always think about Edison, for example. Edison is one of those people whom I always quote quite often in my classrooms or in my lectures or in my workshops. As a teacher educator, I always tell them, any student who fails to understand, who doesn't do well in the class, maybe an Edison himself, who knows, he may become another great scientist on the earth. He or she could become one of the best philosophers on the earth. So recognize the talent that a student has. A student might have talents in an area which is not mentioned at all in the academic system of evaluation. We don't know whether that particular person has got any special talents which are otherwise not at all recognized or rewarded in our regular education. So there's nothing wrong in rewarding or recognizing an individual who does not fit into a system of formal education system. So that is something which we have to really think about. Creativity has to be nourished at every phase of life. In fact, I would suggest people to train their children to be highly creative and innovative. Only then they become, the best brains or the best contributors or thinking people. They have to think out of box. If they don't think out of box, how are they going to provide solutions for this world? Today, we are living in a world where we don't have solution providers or solution finders. We have a large number of problem creators who look for ready-made solutions. And this is a case because many people love to enjoy the luxury of automation. Today, artificial intelligence makes people to be highly sophisticated. They're quite comfortable to get everything online. They may never use their extraordinary thinking ability or divergent thinking. So it's quite important for people to educate them the importance of creative thinking. I have always talked about various nuances of creative thinking. In fact, I always ask my students to remember the great quote of Emily Coué, the great French psychologist. I would ask them to repeat the quote of Emily Coué. Every day and in every way I'm getting better and better. Please repeat this 15 times in the morning and 15 times in the evening. I hope you will become highly creative in future. Good luck to you. All the best. Hi friends. Act your heart. I'm going to talk about a new topic. Act your heart. This is Mangala Prathaban talking about how do you use your intuition to shape your future. Intuition is the most ancient and classical way of using your own energy to create something new. I would say intuitive intelligence is extremely helpful for artists, thinkers or philosophers or even creators. For that matter, all types of artists and artists use intuitive intelligence to empower themselves. Wherever you are, you can make use of your intuitive intelligence to create a new world of your thoughts, your ideas, or your philosophies, or whatever you want to be. So most of the artists and artists make use of this intuitive intelligence. As a poet, I always think intuitive intelligence guides me to write all that I want to write, or to even imagine all that's going to be, in reality. So your reality is in fact constructed by your intuitive intelligence. We do not really understand how our intuitive intelligence creates all that we are. You are what you are because of your thoughts. You are what you are just because of your imagination. So your imagination empowers you. Your imagination guides you. I would say your subconscious mind is the author of your life. Your life is authored by all that you think about yourself. So whatever you think, whatever you imagine, or whatever you do, all these are linked in your subconscious mind. In fact, your conscious actions are guided by your subconscious intentions or thoughts or feelings you have. I will always say, Theodore Rothke, the most famous lines of Rothke, we think by feeling. What is that to know? Our thoughts are guided by our feelings. Remember, most of the greatest works on the earth, especially the greatest literary works on the earth, were all done by the artists who feel energized or empowered. If you could look at the life of the great romantic poet Samuel Taylor Coleridge, when he started writing Kubla Khan, he was in fact reading all about Kubla Khan, the Genghis Khan, the history of Genghis Khan, the life of Genghis Khan, the great Mongol emperor. And then all of a sudden, he started writing about it. In fact, he was the opium drinker. He started writing it. Suddenly somebody came and knocked at the door and stopped it. That would be found even when you read Kubla Khan. Then he has to compose some of the stanzas of Kubla Khan on his own. So there will be a break in the Kubla Khan when you read it. So that break occurred because the poet was disturbed by somebody else. So there is this troublemakers who do not understand the power of intuitive intelligence. Intuition flows sometimes so easily in the lives of the creative artists. That is why the creative artists require freedom. In a way, I would suggest the government to provide some kind of protection for these creative artists. I would say majority of the poets, for example, want to live in a place where there's no horns. So that's why in the United States of America, whenever a poet lives there, they have a hoarding saying that this poet lives here. This is a no horn zone. So they're not supposed to disturb the poet. But does that happen in India? It doesn't happen at all. I think we'll have to learn a lesson from the American policy on preserving the freedom of creative artists. So let us try to recognize the creativity and the creative artists, the creative brains among us. Give them some freedom. Give some thought about how to preserve their individuality. So if we treat better, I'm sure that we could create more number of creative artists or creative brains or creative artists in the world. Hope it supports the creative freedom all over the world. Good luck to all of you. See you in the next episode. Bye-bye. Hi friends, this is Mangala Pratap and Muralidharan from India. I'm going to talk about renew your missions. Why is it important for people to renew their missions? If ever they want to inspire themselves and others in the society, it is quite important for them to think about how to renew their missions. Everyone has a mission, and their mission in life is always quite dear to their heart. It is to say, it could be their passion or it could be your absolute forte. or it is something that you want to pursue all through your life. It could be part of your career, or your career can be your mission. So that could be even a career mission. I would talk about it. For example, I have a career mission of empowering students and professionals to become, excellent in their communication. So that has been my mission. Another mission I have is to be a great poet, to continue to inspire the world with all that poetry that I write. Remember, you do have the potential to identify your mission. Each of us has immaculate capacity to identify and work for the kind of mission that we aspire to actualize in real life. Most of us spend a lot of time to work on our skills. Remember, only if we can align our mission with the skill development or talent harnessing or capacity building, we are going to be successful. So our success is ultimately determined by our core potential. So it is important for you to strengthen your core potential. How do you achieve it? It is possible to achieve it if you have a systematic skill building process as part of your everyday schedule. Every day, make it a point that you work on any one of your skills related to your core potential. Majority of us have a lot of time to systematically enhance the core potential that we have. But most of us, find it difficult to accomplish it for one reason, that we are quite busy with whatever work we're doing. So sometimes we may miss out the entire process of skill building because we are, totally immersed in the work. But having a mission and doing a lot of work does not matter. If you have passion and dedication and commitment to enhance the skills that you have or the knowledge base that you have, I'm sure you will find a way out to accomplish your mission. Some of us have already set missions, and sometimes we get caught with the routine work and we forget to do all that we are supposed to do. For these people, I always tell them, ensure that you renew your mission every day. Keep it in your Google Note, and whenever you have time, have a look at it. Maybe you can write it down in your personal journal. What is your mission all about? I would say write whenever you're free, and then have a look at it, and then ask yourself, is there anything that you could modify? Is there anything that you can add on it? So do that every day. Otherwise, how would you expect yourself to be successful? So if you are going to be someone who perseveres, who works hard, who thinks smart to achieve something great, you have to make sure that every step you take towards this direction can be accomplished. That is going to inspire you in a very big way. Friends, I've started a .com called www.thinksmarttoday.com. This is all about my test preparation programs available at Fluency Center in Pollachi and Coimbatore. But remember, when I was at the beginning stage, when I tried to start it right at the first few years of my business, I remember in the year 2004 when I started this, along with a few of my colleagues who were working with me in a college. I never knew that I'm going to be a full-time trainer. So sometimes in life, as we progress, we could possibly, get to know what is our strength and how to really work towards that strength. So work towards your strength every day. So you can add on your skill list. So you don't need to be, totally bogged down by the failures of the past. So your skill profile has to change every month. So every month you may add certain skills that you have identified, or every year. So it is possible to enhance or enrich your skills only if you have some good consultation So have somebody to consult. I would say consult an expert. So most of my own students who would like to improve their negotiation skills, especially in corporates, they come and ask me how to really work on the negotiation skills. Though they have attended several workshops, the moment they go and negotiate with a client, they find it difficult to arrive at a common acceptable solution. So that they just say it is impossible for them to have a successful negotiation. No, that is a mind block. I say, see, once you have a mind block that you cannot possibly achieve successful outcome out of your negotiation, then how would you achieve it? So my suggestion to you is never think about negative affirmations. Sometimes some of you are obsessed with negative affirmations. I'm sure you have your own mind blocks. Come out of those mind blocks. Think about what is positive, what is easily achievable. So if you have a very clear plan to be highly intelligent about how to accomplish it, so you can achieve it. So empower yourself with a plan. Identify strategies and techniques to work on each of these micro skills. I would say, every skill mapping has to have what you call as micro skill mapping. So you should have 15 or 20 micro skills related to a skill. Then work on your micro skill mapping. And I would say even micro capacity making or capacity empowerment. Work on it every day. So if you could work on customer retention, then you should know how to smile at a customer, how to talk to a customer, how to build a rapport with a customer, how to get the feedback from the customer, how to motivate the customer to be loyal, and what sort of loyalty can you really expect the customer to have, and what sort of service enhancement that you can do in order to retain the customer. What sort of special offers or discounts can you provide to the customer to ensure that the customer keeps referring you to the new customers? So all these could be done if you just keep thinking about it and working on it on a day-to-day basis. But majority of us do not think about it on a day-to-day basis. Any skill that you work on a day-to-day basis can really make wonders. You can become an expert in that area. But if you want to become an expert in that area, you will have to have skill building done on a day-to-day basis. You will have to really identify the roadmap to enhance your talents. Only then it could be done. Some of us do this kind of skill mapping and a systematic enhancement, etc. But when it comes to implementation, we find some sort of roadblocks. Why does it happen? It happens because primarily we haven't thought about what would happen when we implement something. So when you confront such challenges, ensure that you rework on your strategies or consult somebody who has already crossed the road or who has come out of such challenges. So you be a solution provider for that. Hope I've done the best to enhance your capacity building and skill enhancement. So renewing your mission is all about how to build your capacity, having a roadmap to identify new areas of capacity building or talent enhancement, and enlisting micro skills and working on them. These are very important things that you have to remember. You can visit me also at www.mangalaprataban.com. That is MangalaPrataban.com. If ever you want to know more about what I'm doing, you may visit me at www.fluencycenter.org. That is FLUENCYCENTER.org. You're free to contact me on any of these motivational themes, and I'm there to make a presentation or conduct a workshop if you need that I can do a better job. And I'm sure I'll do the best for you. Good luck to you.